Welcome, guys. Let's start our 10-minute timer. Today is Sunday, February 15th. It is 10:41 in the a.m. I moved the camera over, so we got a slightly different angle because I was like, you guys are looking at these. They all look the same. I don't have this light on, so I'm less lit up, but I like it. I like it for today. We're doing a new video every day here on the second channel for the month of February. We have reached the halfway point now. We're winding down, but please stay tuned. We've got great show and tell for you. I'm excited about today because today I'm going to show you, and I'll just show them to you right off the bat, and then we'll talk about them, and I'll show them in more detail. But I have two items from Sesame Place. Probably good. Look at that. Two items from Sesame Place. This one is from Sesame Place, Texas. This one's from Sesame Place, Pennsylvania. I have stories about both of these. These are two of the only Sesame Place pieces of memorabilia I can show you because right now, the majority of my Sesame Place memorabilia is on display at Sesame Place because I helped them work on their anniversary showcase. So they have this whole beautiful thing it's like a little museum. Right when you go see the Elmo show, right before they have in the lobby, they've got like a museum. And the curator of Sesame Place items, I had so many that I loaned them a bunch of them. I worked with them on it. They did some really cool stuff. One of the things they did was recreate the computer gallery games on sort of on modern computers, but it's pretty cool to see when they built that at Sesame Place. Maybe I should back up because I don't know that everybody knows what Sesame Place is. So in Pennsylvania, they say Philadelphia, it's really Bucks County suburbs outside of Philadelphia. There is a theme park named Sesame Place. It opened in 1980. After that, they opened a second one in Texas, and that one failed, and they did not open another one until they converted a SeaWorld water park out in San Diego to become a Sesame Place a few years back. So Sesame Place in Philadelphia has been there since 1980. When they first opened, they had this computer gallery, which was the largest collection of computer games anywhere on the planet. It was overseen by Joyce Hackison, and also Steve Jobs sold them the computers. He refused to donate them. I was asked by the park and a guy named Christopher McCaldo to work on a book, and I co-wrote a book about the history of Sesame Place a number of years ago, and I love the park. And so since then, because I wrote that book, a lot of people that I've met have given me stuff that they had. And so here I'm going to show you a couple items from the park. So this is a glass. This is not glass at all, though. This is cheap plastic. It actually has a crack in the bottom. I had two of these, so they have one of them. I was going to wash this, but you guys, if you've been watching all of these, you learned what happened to me with my tab experience. So I don't want to wash it. Everything stays dirty from now on. I don't want anything to get ruined. A few days ago, I had a tab can that I tried to clean and pretty much destroyed it. But this is a little plastic, like little beer stein kids will get at the Food Factory. Food Factory is still there. It originally, when it opened, everything that they sold was healthy food. The idea was you would go there, and Sesame Place was designed to not be a theme park with rides, but to be physical activity, exercise, learning, and eating well. They were really trying to live up to the Sesame Street ideals, of childhood. And so the Food Factory initially didn't have chicken nuggets, anything like that. It was all very healthy food. Kids just don't want healthy food. And parents said, hey, where's the junk food? I want to shovel some junk food in my mouth and my kid's mouth. And so over time, you could still get some healthy food there. But over time, the ideal place has kind of, they have not been able to maintain the square meal pizza where it contained all the vitamins you needed for the day and stuff. But that is a cup from there. And then the other item I have here, somebody gave me this when I was out in Austin, Texas, a couple of years ago. I apologize, I don't remember the gentleman's name. So if you're watching, please tell me in the comments. But these were given away in promotion with a local television station and McDonald's. It's the McDonald's logo. So these were, and it's cool. There's like a little puzzle. This kind of looks like how the building was shaped there in Texas. Oh, and here is the computer gallery. So they recreated these games in their exhibit at the one in Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you this, I had the actual files of the game. Nobody else had them. I had spoken to the programmer, he had them, but nobody that knew Sesame Place would want them would have had them. And so I was like, I have those games if you guys want to do something with them. The Texas park, it was a big deal. They were opening their second one. The first one was a massive success. The first one opened way behind schedule, opened in the middle of the summer, but it got so many guests. Over the first 30 days, they got more guests than they thought they'd get in the first 5 months. It was so popular when it opened that they had to completely kind of rethink their business model. Their idea was people would come here, spend about 45 minutes, everything was going to be kid-powered, and what happened was people weren't spending 45 minutes. People were spending all day. And once people spend all day, you have to look at different ways to entertain them, and so they spent many years without having physical rides. Their first actual ride where it was not kid powered, it was not a water slide, it was not a physical slide or a rope swing or anything like that. The first ride like that was a roller coaster, the Super Grover's Vapor Trail. And what I love about Super Grover's Vapor Trail, not just that it's a great roller coaster, but also it's kids' first roller coaster. So they go to that park, it's their first time maybe interacting with costume characters. And then as they start to mature out of that park, they go on their first roller coaster. And then it sets them off. New kids come in, but those kids move on and they go to, Six Flags and all the other stuff. But it's their first experience. So in this, and I hope the pink lights, I was going to say sometimes these pink lights make things look weird colors. This is a green ball. This was from... and it was never used. This was before they opened, but this would have been one of the balls in their ball pit. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, ew, ball pit, how disgusting. Those were so gross. They had that at Chuck E. Cheese and McDonald's, and it was gross. Here's the thing. When Sesame Place opened in Pennsylvania, they were the second place on the planet with these. The guy that invented these, Eric McMillan, installed the first ball pit, Ball Crawl. He installed it. It was in... I want to say it was in SeaWorld San Diego. I want to say it was like Captain something. It was a section of San Diego SeaWorld that was themed after like a pirate captain, but like a good pirate. But they had it in that section. And then the second place on Earth to have a pit full of balls that you could swim in without getting wet was Sesame Place in Pennsylvania. And people... their minds were blown by this. I remember, like adults, every parent got in there. It was like, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. Eric McMillan had come up with this idea. It was a very clever idea. Obviously it's an idea that's sort of run its course and people are not as interested in these. But at the time, I have a picture, Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon in the ball crawl over there. They called the first one was the Count's Ballroom, and it was enormous, like the size of a Olympic-sized swimming pool, I feel like. It was just huge. And it was only about 3 feet deep, and it would have these mounds, and the bottom was AstroTurf, and it would have these mounds that you could kind of climb over and then push the balls around and have a great time in it. They then built a second one, Count's Ballroom 2, because it was so popular. So it was a really big deal, and like other things, started out as a big deal, but people got used to it. But Sesame Place was an innovator. The world's largest collection of computer games. This is the first place that most children ever used a computer. And most of their parents had never used a computer. It was the very first place that most people ever went into a ball pit. So look at this. Inside, I could have gotten a free t-shirt. If I get a time machine, I'm going to go back in time, get my free Sesame Place t-shirt. Entries were closed on June 17th, but what year? Is it 2026? Let's see. I don't think it is. But I would have had to pay admission, which was $6.50. This was 2 years after the park opened in Pennsylvania. Admission there was like $3, I believe, or somewhere right around there when they first opened. Well, that is our timer. We are out of time. I'll see you tomorrow.